Hey friends, Justin here. Buckle up for a spoiler-filled review of Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. I posted my fresh out of the theater reaction a couple of days ago, and while it was a fun video, I glossed over a lot of the themes and a lot of the things that really made this a spectacle, the best concert film I've ever seen, and my favorite film experience of 2023. So I wanted to talk through it. Maybe for those that aren't interested in seeing it, maybe you can get a sense of, the film and why it has been so transformational for so many people. Um, you really get into the mind of a genius. Beyonce is concerned with showing you how grand a spectacle and an epic the show, the production, and the folks behind the scenes are. It's also a celebration of queer culture and fashion and music. It's a celebration of Black art, and Beyonce is interested in teaching you the importance of Black artistry. Hiring women, she talks about how she's never seen more women working on a production to perfection, and it makes her truly proud. There are 3 enormous stages. The production is so massive that they build a stage in one city and then they send 2 stages to the next 2 cities to start construction there. There is a constant parade of production and coordination going on because of the magnitude of this spectacle. And when you see the stage and when you see the production, you will understand why it takes weeks of preparation for one show to go off. If you are into fashion at all, this film is just going to blow your mind in terms of the styles, the designers, the reference. She goes from pageant gowns to Afrofuturistic outfits, cat suits, alien cyborg, mode. And it's just thrilling to behold. As she is performing, she is morphing into different styles and different costumes, and the editing is just thrilling and breathtaking. We were in the audience really in total awe of what we were seeing. A lot of folks in the theaters knew all of the words to the songs, but they were not ready for the production as it was. She inspires you in so many ways. There's a point in the film where she talks about how she has to get things done. And even at 42 years old, even as one of the biggest pop stars in history, how she's underestimated as a Black woman. And she says, eventually these people realize that this bitch isn't playing. She is involved with the lighting design. She designs the light show from the first show and works with the light artist to perfect it throughout the entire production. There is no set it and forget it with Beyonce. She's going to give you notes after every show. You may think you're hiding as a third producer, but she's going to give you notes after every show to improve the experience. She's in total control at every moment of what's going on around her. She will stop the music and point out, different, small, subtle things with the lights. And if you push back, it's kind of exhilarating to see how she gets her way. She is a CEO on a magnitude of an Elon Musk. Wait until you see this film. And those who have seen it, it's breathtaking to see how genius she is. And, they talk about how some folks break down, some employees don't make it through the process because Beyonce is a perfectionist. She doesn't forget about anyone. She wants to make sure that everyone's stories are told, and it's really made me emotional with the inclusivity, and I think it will for you too, especially those who have already seen it. No matter what race, age, or what demographic you belong to, you will walk away from this film feeling empowered about you and rejuvenated about where you come from. The cameos in this film are just thrilling. To have, Diana Ross come out and serenade her on her 42nd birthday. Lizzo in the audience, Kendrick Lamar performing, Megan Thee Stallion, on and on and on. It is one of the most thrilling productions that you can imagine. The scale of the stage. But what's really compelling to me are the behind the scenes aspects when you see her looking over her kids' homework. When she talks about taking her kids to school every day and taking them clothes shopping and being mom, when she gets off that stage, she has to be mom to several children who don't care about what she does and want her to be a wife and a mom, and how she shames me in how she's able to do that and be the CEO of a $1 billion company. You really have to think about this. Even with all of the hate and all of the people that say, I don't really like Beyonce, she is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And she is constantly proving people wrong to the tune of sellout shows every time that she comes out. Even if you're not a Beyonce fan, recognize that she is topping herself, at every turn. She's putting out content for you, even though you're not a Beyonce fan. She wants you to feel included. She wants you to feel better about yourself. But it was lovely to see folks in the audience in the theater that I was in dancing, clicking their fans. She talks about creating a safe space for people, and I saw people in the queer community there, in the concert and in the theater, myself included, that walked away feeling celebrated. There are a lot of heroes of the gay community in this film. T.S. Madison, a lot of folks from the ballroom scene. And to see these folks, I'm getting emotional, in places of honor in her show, it means so much, A lot of times people aren't allowed to have a history or a past. T.S. Madison, for one, is someone who it probably has been difficult to navigate mainstream entertainment because she has a past, like we all do. Beyonce sees through that and sees the heart of the person. And, I get emotional thinking about, how included and how welcome we are and were in that world. I get emotional when I think about Blue Ivy, when I think about her daughter and her struggles at the beginning of the film, feeling good enough, and how she channels her inner mom and takes cues from her mom in order to overcome her fear. And by that last performance, when they're standing side by side, I didn't see most of it because I was in tears as a proud uncle, to see someone that's 11 years old put in the work and come out the other side more resilient. That had to be the proudest moment in the film for Beyonce. It was just incredible. Um, the visuals are staggering. The journey is staggering. You get a sense that this lady has been performing since 1989, Star Search, and started in 1997 with Destiny's Child. You see all iterations of Destiny's Child. I call it Destiny Renewed. When they all hugged and all stood together, there was healing. There was healing. There's fault to spread around when relationships fall apart. But it means so much to me that someone like Beyonce is, it's important for her that people feel whole and that people feel healed. And I think that's what she tried to do for the other members of Destiny's Child by including them. And I'm getting emotional now. I know it sounds silly to get emotional for people that you don't know, but it's been probably a difficult journey for folks that were Beyonce's contemporaries to watch her, rise to the levels of Madonna and all of these other people. And you're struggling to pay your bills. And the community is making jokes about you. It may be hard to appreciate it, especially if you're not in the Black community. But I was really proud of Beyonce for bringing all 5 women together. I loved how she honors her father. He was the first person that she spoke to in the film, and they've had a difficult road and an interesting relationship, but she honors him for who he is. She is willing to be loving, and inclusive of even his mistakes. And it is really inspirational, it's motivational, and it shows us all that we can be a little bit better in so many aspects of our life. The costumes were, out of this world, and saying that you could watch this film just for the costumes. You could watch this film entirely for the wigs. I mean, you're tens of thousands of dollars. You're talking about the most exquisite things you've ever seen in your life. You could watch this purely as a celebration of queer culture and queer community, to see those folks out there on the stage dancing and living their absolute highest existence. It's absolutely thrilling. These are folks that have been thrown out onto the streets and marginalized and found communities in alternative ways. And Beyonce is celebrating the hope that these people have, the community and the camaraderie that the community has. And she expertly, I'm sure with the help of people within the community, shows the heart and the spirit of the gay community. She honors her Uncle Johnny, who wears his outfits, years and years after his death in the film, and talks about how he was a silent hero in her life. And a lot of queer people who aren't allowed to be themselves, out in public, are silent heroes within their own homes and communities. And the way that she honors his life and his legacy and the outlets that he found to express himself. She talks about how he used fashion as protection. If people loved his gowns, they would end up loving him. And how he had to find something in this world to protect himself from the opinions and the violence of folks against the queer community. And she recognizes that it's a need for folks to find something to protect themselves, to wear as a blanket between them and the community. When you see it, and if you've seen it, you'll see how beautifully it is. The story is told, how honored the gay community is by this film. And it is one of the best experiences I've had in a theater. I am a film snob, And, anybody that's watched my channel knows that I am a true fan and a student of film. And you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't go see this and enrich your own spirit with it. It's not about Beyonce. Beyonce finds a way to just be a muse and be a conduit for positive energy. And you feel it in the audience. Everybody left lighter than they walked into the audience, and I want that for everyone. Go see Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, today, this week. It's important, it's historical, and it is a cultural marker that I don't think you'll ever forget. Left me breathless. What did you guys think? What did you think of this review? Leave me a like, a comment, and please consider subscribing to my channel, Justin Talks Film, for more movie, TV, and life-related content. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.